Hello everybody, Turkey Cat here, bringing you guys another game. This game is going to be a ZvZ. I actually just played it. It's against a Master Zerg, so I was a little pleasantly surprised. It was the first game I'd played in like 2 days, so I thought I would share it with you guys just because I haven't yet had a chance to do one that's defending a gas first, which is basically what this game is going to be. So. On Shakira's Plateau, since you're close positioned by air, usually the Overlord will scout in enough time to determine whether or not you can hatch first, so that's kind of my goal here. So you're going to see that I am a little bit late on my choice to transition instead into 14-16, so instead it's going to be like a 15-16 in this game, which is 15 pool and then 16 hatch. But the reason why I chose to do that is I just feel like it's an overall generally safe build, and especially when you see a gas first or you scout that, you're going to expect a really quick early aggression with speedlings, and if they manage to get in and do any kind of damage at all, it can really be game ending when it's so early. So I do scout his overlord here. I know which position he's in, and so immediately I assume, yep, it's going to be safe. I'm going to go ahead and hatch first. So that is my plan at this point in the game. I am one drone behind because I made my overlord at 8 this game by accident, so a little bit of a slip up on my part, but like I said, it was the first game I'd played in 2 days, so a little bit sloppy, but he does throw his gas down right at 14, which is the correct build. He builds one more drone, and then actually he chose not to do that, so that's, yeah, I did notice that his pull was a little earlier, but that's because he did not make his 14th drone. Again, he just went straight into pool, so really fast aggression on his mind. So you can see my drone's going down. I'm going to try to take my hatchery, but I come in here and first thing I notice is there's only a few drones here, which immediately makes me think I'm being cheesed. Then I see that he actually did take the gas, so I could go back and show the progression of my overlord seeing that stuff, but I saw the gas and I assumed the pool would be there as well. So I did take my pool at 15, and then I go ahead and take the hatch at 16 because I know I'm going to be perfectly safe to do that. Pools first, it really wouldn't matter. You could actually do this just fine with a hatch first as well. The decision making after the pool finishes is going to be relatively the same, but I just like 14-16 for being a little safer. So that's what I chose to do, and then to take my gas immediately after making another drone. So it was pool at 14 or 15 in this case, go up to 16, build the hatch, go back up to 16, build the extractor, and then the extractor, as you can see, he's already got his speed research started, because it'll actually, with a gas first build, your speed will start instantly as soon as the pool finishes. So my speed is going to be quite a ways behind, but the interesting thing to note here is that we're sitting at equal drone count right now that he just took his expansion, but it's going to give me a huge advantage when he spends all of his money to making, and all of his larvae into making these initial speedlings. So he does take guys off gas after speed started, which is correct. He leaves one in there probably for banelings, and I think we will see that here. So he does poke in with a couple lings. I've got my first 4 that came out, and I am going to make one additional set for now. You can just get away with making a drone there, but again, I'm just being really safe. So I'm not sure quite what to expect here. Sometimes you can see him do like a heavy ling aggression, you know, basically spending every single larva into making lings and not even take a hatch, which is silly because you can really afford to do that just fine. And this guy was a Masters player, so he knows what he's doing. So I am going to make my second queen's coming out now. Basically, as soon as your pool finishes, you start the first queen and start the second queen immediately when the first one finishes. My speed started now, but as you can see, his is done. So his just finished, and he spent all of his larvae right there making lings. And this is an intimidating amount of lings to have in the early stage of the game. But the point is, as soon as your second queen comes out, you need to make sure both of your queens are going to block this ramp here. And the timing should work out, even if you go hatch first, that'll happen, because you'll get one from each hatchery. Making a third queen, because that's generally the right decision. And also making lings behind this as soon as my overlord has scouted this move out. So I'm going to go back and show that a little bit. So I'll put this on my camera and you'll see exactly what I see. So first queen's going to set up here to block off the ramp. I know that the hatchery, you can tell based on just the hatchery timing alone, if it's not a map like this and you didn't actually get to scout into the main and see this stuff, you can tell just by the hatchery timing that it's at gas first, if that helps. But at this point, I'm going to send that queen down to block off the ramp, so I have 2 queens there to block, and you make sure you put them a hold position, or if you don't have to, just make sure that they don't move you don't want them to leave this spot because they will perfectly block off a ramp on any map like that. So I see the 2 lings move out, or I still missed it, but basically as soon as I saw the lings move out, I made a bunch more lings myself, because I'm already going to be ahead in any other aspects, my hatchery, queen count, everything, and he just invested a ton of money into all these lings that end up getting pushed back by the queen. So I did lose a queen that popped out right there. If it had been better timing, I could have, if when it spawned it had been better timing, I could have pushed it up against this wall and reduced the surface area. But I didn't have the opportunity to do that. It didn't matter though, as now I'm going to push in a little bit and try to harass him back and basically just force more lings. You know, my intention here is not really to kill him, as I am just droning behind this full production tab. He's making 10 lings, but I've already made a ton of drones behind this. So the drone's coming in here, fully saturated in the main, and I did target banelings there. It's not really too important to focus on that. But he had baneling cocoons morphing in. Focus those down, just tried to keep him from actually getting those up. And one does finish, and I only have a small amount of lings here, so I just decided, you know what, I'm not going to chance this. I'm just going to pull back, and it was in perfect time as that baneling to just finish as soon as I pulled out. So I could have lost all of those lings, and that would just allow him the opportunity to counterattack, and I'd have to spend more money making lings. So right now, basically, I have the psychological advantage in this game. He knows that I have these units. He doesn't know whether I'm producing them, more units behind it or not, so he's forced to play defensively right now. You know, he could make a ton of lings and just come and attack me, but I already have this many more than him. So if that happens, I will have a huge advantage. I have queens here. I can just play defender's advantage and make as many lings as I want. But since I do know that I'm going to have an economic advantage here based on all the decision making, as you can see, 30, and we'll put this back on everyone's cam, but 30 drones to 19. He just made 6 more, but I'm already just miles ahead as far as economy's sake. So I do make 2 banelings to be defensive in case he, because I do see these lings moving out from him, and I want to make sure that he doesn't get any cheeky ideas here. But he does pull back immediately when he sees those baneling cocoons. He's not sure if they're almost done or not. They were about halfway, but I decided to transition into Evolution Chamber Roachwarren because I know that I can just brute force my way through the rest of this game, and he has no chance of being on the same level as me. So I take my second gas, take my third to even think about doing some advanced tech. You could actually do this on 2 gas, just roachling, but I'm going to take this further since I am getting +1/+1 and a Roachwarren. You can do this just fine. If you're going to go 2 gas, you can do this, or you can just go with maybe just +1 attack, and it'll still be really effective. But at this point, I know he's trying to drone. He's trying to catch up. He has at this point, so we're on equal terms right now, but my tech is already miles ahead of him as his evolution chamber is just now finishing. He's just started his lair, and my lair finished. So basically, after holding off that initial attack, you drone, get your lair, get your 2 evolution chambers. Roachwarren came down. The baneling nest was there already for safety's sake in the early game, but at this point, my tech transition was perfectly timed out. That lair finished. My overseer went out. Lair finished actually around when this tech first started. So basically at this point I'm just going to make a few more overlords. If I pull the production tab again, you'll see that I'm going to start producing about 4 or 5 of them. Oh, I already did, so they just finished. 92 cap supply, and I know that I can just basically make a whole bunch of roaches and just shove my giant roach stick right up his ass right now, and he's not going to anything he can do about it. And as I'm basically producing those units, I'm going to see that he's going to try to take his third, and you'll see my decision here with these lings that I have. So I did take all of the banelings out of this control group, or I'm about to, and roaches are, yeah, I did, because I made that third baneling. So this is just to be safe in case he tries to do any ling run-bys. This one should be on hold position. I don't think I did it because I wasn't too worried. But basically just make roaches, and as soon as his timing finished, which it just did, then I'm moving out. And you can see right now he's only about halfway, choosing to do the same exact tech that I am, even double upgrades. Hasn't started his roach speed yet, and is basically just making lings. And I sent lings up here to try to take out this third while my roaches were coming across the map. And essentially I completely moved all of his units out of position. I ran the lings up to distract him, and these banelings do come up, and I didn't see that because I was focused down here. But at this point, it's pretty simple. You can A-move right into their base. You can see +1/+1 roaches are very good, so I don't even bother trying to micro here. You can just A-move and win. It takes, interestingly, if you don't have the +1 upgrade for attack on a roach, it takes 3 shots to kill a Zergling. But with the +1, it only takes 2 shots, and that makes a huge difference when you're fighting an engagement like this, when he's just basically focused on lings. So as you can see, I just ran in, killed all the spine crawlers, killed all the Zerglings and drones that he tried to fight with. Drones do not do well against roaches who have 145 health, and drones only do 5 damage with a half attack speed of Zerglings. They're really not good in that situation at all, and it's just generally the worst possible thing to try to make that decision. But he did actually have a spire down, so this may have just been for early defense or just to throw me off. Maybe he decided to make this transition after he saw my overseer come in and scout this, but it didn't really matter. Nobody's going to be able to get a significant amount of mutas up in time to stop this kind of attack, and if they do get mutas up, you can target down this hatchery, target down this lair, target down the spire, target down everything. You just mass roaches while putting up a few spores, maybe 2 spores, 3 spores in your main, and get a Hydra den if you just want to end the game immediately. If you manage to do that, which you will, you'll at least get this hatchery down. You can at least kill some tech. If he does have a lot of units, or if he made a bunch of roaches and then starts making mutas, and that delays you a bit, you'll at least be able to get this hatchery down. And if you do, or when you do, you know that you can just end the game with a Hydra den. There's no reason to take a third, but you can choose to do that after you get something to defend against the mutas. But honestly, it's just like I said, it's not even going to be an issue, as the best he could have done right now would be 6 mutas, and that would take a significant amount of time to kill all of these roaches, and you'd be able to kill the lair, kill the spire, kill both of his bases, and basically just force him out of the game. So that's pretty much all for this one. It's pretty simple, pretty quick game. But if you have any questions, you can post comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time.